On September 17, 2025, President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump arrived at Windsor Castle, greeted by the grandeur and history of one of Britain's most iconic landmarks. The motorcade's approach was a spectacle in itself, with dignitaries and onlookers lining the streets to catch a glimpse of the American President and First Lady. They were warmly greeted by King Charles III, Queen Camilla, and the Prince and Princess of Wales. The royal family stood in full regalia, embodying the deep-rooted traditions and the enduring relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom. Their arrival was marked by the largest guard of honor for a state visit in decades, with over 1,000 British military personnel in full regalia. The sight was a testament to the significance of the visit, showcasing the military precision and ceremonial grandeur that the British are renowned for. The red arrows soared overhead, painting the sky in red, white, and blue as Trump inspected the troops with King Charles. The aerial display was not just a visual feast, but also a symbol of the close ties and shared values between the two nations. Inside, the Trumps paid respects at Queen Elizabeth II's tomb, a quiet nod to the monarchy's enduring legacy. This moment of reflection highlighted the respect and reverence held for the late Queen, whose influence and legacy continue to shape the modern monarchy. A private meeting with William and Catherine followed, described as warm and personal, setting the stage for deeper diplomatic ties. The discussions were said to cover a range of topics, from international relations to shared cultural interests, further solidifying the bond between the two families. The day blended grand spectacle with intimate diplomacy, all against the storied backdrop of Windsor Castle. The historic setting provided a perfect canvas for the unfolding events, where every corner echoed with centuries of history and tradition. This was more than ceremony. It was a powerful statement of alliance and respect between two nations. The presence of both British and American flags symbolized a partnership that has weathered the test of time, standing strong in the face of global challenges. President Trump's 2025 state visit was historic. No American president had ever received a second invitation. The UK's move was strategic, using royal tradition to foster goodwill and smooth the way for critical talks on trade and security. For Prime Minister Keir Starmer, it was a chance to secure Britain's interests with an unpredictable US administration. For Trump, it was a moment of personal and political triumph, projecting strength and global stature. The visit underscored the special relationship now framed as indispensable partnership. Britain's royal pageantry was deployed as diplomatic soft power, aiming to turn personal rapport into real-world benefits. The second invitation was a pragmatic recognition that, in geopolitics, relationships matter as much as policy. The alliance, though complex, was reaffirmed as vital for both nations. The first day of the state visit culminated in a truly spectacular event, a lavish state banquet held in the magnificent St. George's Hall at Windsor Castle, a setting steeped in centuries of royal tradition and grandeur. The guest list was as impressive as the surroundings, with 160 distinguished attendees drawn from the worlds of politics, business, and technology, all gathered under one historic roof. Guests were treated to a meticulously curated menu, elegantly written in French, which showcased the best of British cuisine. The highlight was organic Norfolk chicken, prepared with exquisite attention to detail and served alongside seasonal vegetables. For dessert, a sweet creation inspired by the late Queen Elizabeth II was served, blending cherished royal tradition with a nod to contemporary tastes and offering a personal touch to the evening's fare. Catherine, Princess of Wales, captivated the room in the iconic Lover's Knot tiara, a piece rich with royal history. Her presence added both glamour and a sense of continuity, linking past and present generations of the royal family. President Trump was visibly impressed by the evening's splendor, openly remarking on the princess's poise and the sheer magnificence of the occasion, which left a lasting impression on all in attendance. The formal procession into the hall, led by the King, Queen, President, and First Lady, was a breathtaking display of unity and ceremony, symbolizing the close ties between the two nations. Throughout the evening, the royal family and the US delegation mingled, exchanged toasts and shared speeches, turning the banquet into the centerpiece of the visit's charm offensive, where diplomacy was woven seamlessly into royal tradition. The spectacle of the evening, with its pageantry and warmth, powerfully reinforced the enduring alliance and friendship between the United States and the United Kingdom, setting a tone of mutual respect and celebration for the days to come. Gift exchanges between King Charles and President Trump were rich with symbolism, reflecting not just the personal rapport between the two leaders, but also the deep historical ties between their nations. Each gesture, each carefully chosen present, was a nod to centuries of shared history, mutual respect, and the enduring alliance that has shaped the modern world. The king presented Trump with the Union flag that had flown over Buckingham Palace on the day of Trump's second inauguration, a gesture steeped in tradition, recognition, and respect. This flag, a powerful symbol of British heritage, was meant to honor the moment and acknowledge the significance of the occasion, bridging the Atlantic with a single meaningful act. In return, President Trump gifted a replica of General Eisenhower's sword, a tribute to the US-UK alliance forged in the crucible of World War II. The sword, gleaming and meticulously crafted, served as a reminder of the shared sacrifices and victories that have bound the two nations together through the most challenging times in history. The royal family also offered the Trumps a rare, private viewing of historic artifacts, including original letters exchanged between King George III and President Lincoln. These documents, preserved for generations, provided a tangible link to the past and highlighted the long-standing diplomatic dialogue that has shaped both countries' destinies. These items told the story of a relationship that has weathered revolution, war, and political upheaval, only to emerge stronger with each test. From the battlefields of the world wars to the halls of diplomacy, the US and UK have stood side by side, forging a partnership that has shaped global history. The curated display was more than a collection of historical objects. It was a living reminder that the alliance between these two nations endures through challenge and change, adapting to new eras while honoring the legacy of the past. The gifts and artifacts, arranged with care and reverence, framed the visit as the latest chapter in a centuries-old partnership. Each piece told a story, connecting leaders and citizens alike to a shared narrative of friendship and cooperation. The message was clear. Through every era, the special relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom remains resilient, unbreakable, and ever forward-looking. While the President and King handled statecraft, First Lady Melania Trump and the royal women advanced soft diplomacy. Melania and Queen Camilla toured the Royal Library, bonding over literature and preservation. The next day, Melania and Catherine hosted young scouts, building a bug hotel and sharing honey from their own hives, a symbol of shared interests and friendship. These relaxed, personal moments created heartwarming images and genuine connections. The engagements highlighted compassion, service, and environmental awareness, values uniting both nations. The First Lady and Princess of Wales showed that diplomacy is also about personal bonds. Their partnership underscored the human side of the US-UK alliance. Day 2 shifted to politics as President Trump met Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Chequers for high-stakes talks. The headline, a record, £150 billion US investment in the UK, promising thousands of new jobs and a boost for the post-Brexit economy. Yet the new trade framework left steel tariffs in place and led to the closure of a major bioethanol plant, revealing the complexities of negotiation. On Ukraine, the visit coincided with a landmark UK-Ukraine partnership treaty, reinforcing Britain's support for Kyiv. King Charles's banquet speech subtly urged continued US backing for Ukraine, reflecting the visit's broader geopolitical stakes. The meeting showed that even close allies must navigate tough compromises. The visit balanced economic wins with unresolved challenges, all under the watchful eyes of history. Outside the pageantry, London and Windsor saw large protests against both Trump and the monarchy. Activists projected messages onto Windsor Castle, ensuring dissent was visible even amid royal celebrations. Security was tight, with major events held behind castle walls or at checkers to shield the president from direct confrontation. The protests were a reminder of democracy's vibrancy and the divisions Trump's presidency inspires. While the demonstrations dominated headlines, Trump's experience remained insulated, and the official narrative stayed on course. The careful choreography preserved the visit's dignified image, even as dissent echoed beyond the gates. The state banquet speeches were crafted for a global audience. King Charles celebrated the US-UK bond and, with subtlety, called for unity against tyranny, an unmistakable reference to Ukraine. His words were a diplomatic nudge for continued American support. President Trump responded with praise for the royal family and the alliance, calling the visit one of the highest honors of my life. He declared the relationship far deeper than special, putting his own stamp on the historic partnership. The speeches projected unity, respect, and a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they painted a picture of a revitalized alliance, ready to face new challenges. The world was watching, and the message was clear. This second state visit was an investment in the future of the US-UK alliance. Royal ceremony and political negotiation worked hand in hand, yielding major economic gains and strengthening personal ties. The visit reinforced Britain's role as America's key European partner, even as some disputes remained unresolved. The images of unity, King and President, First Lady and Princess, resonated on both sides of the Atlantic. In a shifting world, reaffirming this partnership matters more than ever. The visit proved the alliance is adaptable, thriving amid change and challenge. The message to the world, the US-UK bond, steeped in history and renewed in purpose, remains a cornerstone of global order.